Okay.
Oh, yeah, totally.
All right. So my name is Denise Cox, and I want to welcome everybody to this video. I couldn't be more excited and actually a tad nervous to talk to L5 leader and Tube Traffic Mojo co-founder, Mark Harbert. Welcome, Mark, to today's video. I want to let you guys know that Mark, and just thank Mark so much for taking the time away from his family. He just informed me that he just got back from the beach, and
a little sunburn here. You know?
And I'm in Denver. The weather's nice here, but it's not probably as nice as it is in Chile. So Mark's coming to us now from Concepcion, Chile, where
yeah.
He lives with his wife and his daughter, and who is how old?
My daughter, she'll be 7 on Tuesday.
Oh my gosh. Yeah. Okay, that is so cool. I have 2 little young daughters too, so I know how much fun you're having.
Cool.
And I also know how excited you must be to be able to spend time with her all day at the beach, and because you're doing really, really well with your business. So that's amazing. So let's get right to it. Really quick, I want to give you a testimonial for Tube Traffic Mojo. I want to say for everyone watching, I have no experience doing this before. I might have shot a few videos, but to be honest, I never had a recipe or a roadmap. I had no clue what I was doing. I literally just shot a video at the beginning of last week. I've only been in your course maybe for 2 weeks or something. And my video sat on page 4. And then I'm also in your VIP coaching group, and you guys shared a nugget, which I have to say it's completely worth it to be a part of that, because you definitely get the insider secrets. I literally bumped from page 4 to page 1 in less than 24 hours after implementing that secret that you guys taught us. So
and that's awesome. No, that's the stuff I love to hear.
Yeah.
Because that's the stuff we share. We share in there stuff that works. I mean, it's not junk. I mean, we give you everything that we do. I mean, there's nothing that we don't hold anything back. So.
And I can tell. And I have to say, I've been a consumer of lots of information products. I've never done a course like this where I actually really felt authentically that you guys are my friend, you've got my back, and you're not holding anything back. So that is definitely to your credit. It's not a surprise that you're so successful. So, and then the other thing I wanted to share before we get started with the questions is, Mark, I listened to one of your wake-up calls last summer, and we were my husband and my 2 daughters and I were going up to the mountains on a Sunday, and I was listening to a recording, and it was definitely my favorite MLSP wake-up call ever. And I have to say, I don't even remember what you said, but I had my husband listen to you, and it really is true. There's a saying, it doesn't matter that you remember what people said. It's important, or it's powerful to know how they made you feel. And the way that you made me feel that day after listening was that something was possible, that it was possible to be successful, really successful. And again, I just can't thank you guys enough for just showing up and playing so big. So, so with that said, how long have you been in the network marketing profession?
Let's see. I got started back in 2000, was my first company. I got started in Amway, like millions of other people. And I actually fell in love with network marketing right away. I mean, I love the concept of it. I love the ability to get in there and work with people. But, you know, I was kind of at a point in my life where I wasn't personally developed enough. I didn't necessarily understand business. I was just kind of flying dumb, you know, just excited about the concept and everything. But it's been since 2000. And so, you know, really, there was a couple-year period where I had gotten out of the industry, so cumulative about 10 years.
Okay.
But I love it. I love this industry.
And so you actually brought up a good point. 10 years in the profession, in and out. You got something. That was actually one of my questions. What do you think the disconnect was? And you said personal development. What do you think the disconnect was from getting it to being able to implement something and be so extremely successful with it?
You know, a lot of people don't realize this, and I think this is so important, that your success is not dependent upon the company. It's not dependent upon the okay, thank you. I'm in the middle of an interview. No, go see mommy. Okay, thank you.
Oh.
So that's the beauties of working from home, guys.
I love it.
So, no, go see mommy. She knows it. Nicole, go ahead. Okay, so anyway, where were we at again?
You were saying, you know what? I just got caught up in the moment. I have no idea what you were saying. I just think that was so adorable.
Oh, yeah, okay, here we go. Yeah, guys, that's what's so great about working from home. Usually I lock the door, but I didn't do it there. But here's the thing, that personal development is really the key to the success in this industry. A lot of people come into the network marketing, profession, industry, whatever you want to call it, and they come into it with a mindset of being an employee. And that type of mindset will not work in a network marketing business. I believe that that's why our industry, our profession gets such a bad rap, is because people come into it with one mentality, and you can't come into it like that. You've got to make a shift in your mindset that you do not get paid according to how much you work. Many people think, well, I work an hour, I should get paid an hour. That doesn't work here. Mm-hmm. That won't work here. Because you could work 100 hours and get paid the amount of what you worked for 1 hour, mm-hmm. At your job. It's just a different way. You get paid to produce, not paid by the time you spend. So a lot of people kind of have a difficult time with that. And that's why people come out and they say, network marketing, it's a scam. It doesn't work. It's, that's not the case. It's just you haven't made that shift in mentality yet. And I really believe that is a major, major key that people need to grasp onto if you want to have success. Do not treat this like a job. Treat it like a business. Great point.
And so it actually leads me into my next question. There was obviously, you've been in the business now for 10 years.
Yeah.
So one of Eric Worre from Network Marketing Pro, I just love him.
Yeah.
And one of my favorite questions that he asks people, because it's such a real, people always answer it so authentically, is what was your defining moment? Because, for being in and out of the profession for 10 years, you were doing things the same way for a certain amount of time. And then at one point, you changed your mind about something. What were obviously you made the shift from employee to an entrepreneur mindset. What were the events surrounding that decision? Like, what was happening?
Yeah. I think one of the things that really helped me begin to make that shift is when I made the decision in my mind that I was not going to quit until I figured it out. And it's kind of funny. I hope I don't offend anybody. I'm a stubborn SOB in certain parts of my life. and that is one of them. I don't like to stop until I figure it out. Mm-hmm. And I used to be a technician. I was an air conditioning technician for many years. And I was always working on stuff, and I've told people this story before, but, I would work on $1 million pieces of equipment. I'd open these big panels, and there's electrical stuff all over the place, and I would have to figure it out. I couldn't leave until I figured this thing out. One of my big accounts was a huge aquarium, a saltwater aquarium in Southern California, and I had to figure this stuff out. I mean, millions and millions of dollars of exotic fish, depended on this. So I had to figure this stuff out, and I could not stop until I figured it out. Mm-hmm. And so that's kind of the mentality that I brought over here, is that I will not stop until I figure it out, because I've kind of always had that mentality. And a lot of people don't have that mentality. Mm-hmm. It's like they try something once, it doesn't work, they're moving on to the next thing. So that is really, a thing that clicked in my mind, is that I really was not going to stop till I figured it out. And it took me a while. It doesn't mean it's going to take everybody that amount of time, but it took me a while to figure out what I needed to do. Once I figured it out, that's when I started to get the success. So
cool. So how did you decide that video was the way? Like, how did you know that was the road you wanted to go on?
Right. Well, I've always done video. I've always, I've been doing video for, believe it or not, as far as in internet marketing, probably 3.5, 4 years. Oh, wow. However, I didn't do it to the level that I do it now. I was doing it more of a branding, just kind of communicating with people on Facebook and things like that. But about a year ago, I met up with my business partner, Frank Marino, the Bluesman, and we started doing SEO. We were doing search engine optimization on blogs, articles, ranking articles, things like that, and getting traffic that way and getting leads. But Google made a shift in their algorithm, and our sites began to drop in the rankings, and we were having a hard time keeping them up in the rankings. But in the meantime, we had videos that we were ranking. We had just started to get into like doing keyword-focused videos and ranking them in the search engines. So as that shift happened, we realized, YouTube was a lot more, it's more Google-friendly, and they're owned by Google. It's a lot easier to rank a video. Let's just start making videos and ranking videos. So we started making all these videos, keyword focus, and next thing we were just applying the same kind of SEO strategies that we were doing on our blog. Next thing we know, we had videos ranking all over the place, and leads were just flowing in. So that's what we started to do. We just took some of those SEO strategies, started applying it toward video, which I'd already been doing for a while. Mm-hmm. But, video is to me, I think it's an essential marketing strategy you need to do if you're going to do internet marketing. It's just an absolute. You need to do it. And the reason being is because, like Denise, I've never met you face to face. At least I don't remember if we did. Yeah. And, it's one of those things that's it breaks down the walls of skepticism, mm-hmm. It's like, we're still sitting here, we're on video, but we're face to face, and it builds rapport kind of on autopilot. So I think if you're going to do marketing online, you need to do some type of video.
Yeah, I couldn't agree more, actually. What I was thinking is how many people I've shared this with, and my experience of you and Frank, it's like really crazy, is that we're friends. Like, I remember a few weeks ago when you guys were launching Tube Traffic Mojo, I was literally cooking in my kitchen for hours, and I had you guys, I felt like you guys were in my kitchen, and I told my husband, this is working with me. This is not personal. This is something that's probably working with thousands of people. It's just smart business. So, okay, so I had no idea that you started off blogging, the algorithm changed, but you realized something was working, and so you decided to take the ball and run with it like you'd never run with it before. I didn't know that. So, okay, you made the decision now. A lot of times your journey in interviews, I hear in webinars and stuff, is like month 3, month 4, month 5. So if you don't mind, at what month? So you guys made the decision at some point, and then we'll call that month 0 or month 1.
Right.
What were your obstacles up to the month where you actually started seeing some serious results?
Yeah, the main obstacle was getting over myself.
Really?
Yeah, and really that's really what holds a lot of people back is we don't realize that our success is literally this close. Okay, our success is this close. The problem is, here's where we want to be. This is where we are. Instead of just going from path A to path B, we go like this.
Uh-huh.
And it's like we're so in our own way all the time. And I realized that my biggest problem, it wasn't that I didn't have the fire. It didn't mean I didn't have the passion and want it. Mm-hmm. The problem was I didn't take decisive, consistent action long enough to get a result. And so when I finally made the decision, along with Frank, we got together, we held each other accountable. We told each other, we were both sick of being broke. And we both made the decision together that we were going to push one another and hold each other accountable. And we were on the phone every day doing videos. And what did you do? How did you do this? Okay, great. You did this. I'm doing this. We shared all our tactics, and we just did it consistently every day. And within a very short period of time, and we were watching our content rise to the top, and leads started coming in. I was about 2 weeks in, I was kind of, started getting a lot of results when we initially started doing blogging. And I was starting to get a lot of results. I was bringing in 8 to 10 leads a day. And Frank was starting to get, kind of pissed. He's like, dude, why can't get there? What the heck? And I went over and I shared with him and I took a look at his content. I said, I think you need to do this, do that, do this. Because this is what I'm doing and you need to switch it. If I'm getting results and you're not, you need to switch over what I'm doing.
Sure.
So he did it and bam, the leads started flowing.
I love that we're talking about this. Hang on one second. So were you talking about, because on the board right now, there's a really long thread right now on the Facebook group, and we're talking about conversion. So what you're saying is you were seeing success. There was views, and then you were getting a lot more conversions than Frank. Then Frank says, ask for help. You look at his stuff, and you give him some coaching, and it helped his conversions. Is that what you're saying?
Yeah, initially when we started doing blogging, there were some things like And this can work with video. It can work with whatever you're doing, Facebook PPC, solo ads, whatever it is. But in our particular instance, at the time we were doing some heavy blogging. We still were mixing video into it, but we were doing more blogging. And I was looking, at his blog compared to mine, and he had some things out of whack that I didn't have on mine. So I was like, do this, switch this up, get rid of that. Mm-hmm. And he did exactly what I was doing, and bam, he just started getting the leads. Because he was getting more traffic than me, he just wasn't getting the conversions. Uh-huh. So so that partnership is what really helps you stay on track. Mm-hmm. And, so it's a big deal.
It is a big deal because it's two different conversations. One's traffic, and then one's conversion. And I appreciate the mastermind group that you guys have created for us so we can all give each other feedback. So I'm a big Tony Robbins fan, and a few years ago he did an interview with Frank Kern and another guy, I can't remember his name. And Tony asked Frank the question, what's been your biggest professional accomplishment?
Yeah.
And he said, actually, I was very surprised at the answer because Frank Kern, I think, was the first guy on the internet that ever made $1 million in one day. And he said that his biggest accomplishment was the day that he made, I think, $3,000 in one day. And the reason why I'm bringing this up is because it really reminds me of you guys. Because when Tony said, why is 3,000 bigger deal than $1 million? And he said, because he realized that day that it was possible, that anything was possible. And then he went on to one day make that $1 million. And it kind of relates to what we were talking about before we got on record about the next level in MLSP. So what was that day like when, you went from 10 leads a day to... I mean, I heard you on a call the other day. You said you get 50 to 60 leads without even, before you even have breakfast in the morning, How, at some point you must have realized, okay, this is, if 10's possible, what was that day for you when you realized this is really possible?
Well, really when I started, before Frank and I really connected and I started getting 5-10 leads a day, I would get maybe 1 to 3 leads a day. Okay. Some days it would be no leads, And a lot of times what happens is it's very hard to picture yourself getting 10, 20, 30, 40 leads a day, because you haven't actually done it before.
Right.
We see others do it, but in a lot of ways in our mind, we kind of associate it with almost like a fantasy thing. It's not real possible, but for some reason I see people doing it. We don't really make the connection that it is possible that we can do it too. Mm-hmm. And so when we really started taking decisive action consistently, and I started getting 5, and then I got to 10 and 12 leads a day, I was like, holy, I can do this, And that's when you get the attitude, it's like, if I can get 10, I can get 20. Mm-hmm. All I need to do is a little bit more of the same of what I already did and just start stacking it on, one on the other. So it was just like I needed to keep doing what I was doing, getting the content out there. And next thing you know, we were getting 20, 25 leads a day. Next thing you know, I'm getting all these signups and I'm getting, people contacting me wanting to, my phone's ringing off the hook and it's like, oh my gosh, what's going on here, And, and then 3 months in after we had started, because we had started doing blogging, like I said, and we were about a month and a half into that, but we also had a few videos that we were ranking too. And after we kind of, we started shifting more toward video, it was about 90 to 100 days that we both had our first 5-figure month.
Wow.
So for me, that was when I think that was my biggest accomplishment, because I always had that $10,000 a month mark.
Sure.
In view, and I was kind of like, that was kind of like the ultimate goal,
Sure.
And now it's kind of become, I hate to sound, it sounds arrogant, and I'm not meaning it in an arrogant way, but now it's like, great, 10,000 a month, I want 20 now.
Good
and my goal is by the end of the year,
Awesome.
What happens is your vision increases. Once you hit something, you're like, okay, I did it, I can do it again,
Mm-hmm.
So you just build upon it. So it's all about increasing your belief level and getting your mind to a point where you can say, if that person can do it, I can do it. I know that if I can do it, anybody can do it.
And that's actually what you just said is what you said that last summer. Yeah. You're at 90 to 100 days away from a 5-figure paycheck. I was like, oh my gosh, that's awesome,
Yeah, and because it happened for me. Once I made a definitive decision, got the knowledge that I needed, and moved on it, it was 90 days, 90 to 100 days at my first 5-figure month.
Wow. So I think I fell off my chair the day that I heard how many people, because you said your phone was ringing off the hook. And that's definitely a fantasy for me that I would very much like to become a reality,
Right.
which is why I'm taking decisive action.
I have to tell you, I have to say this though. This is a big deal.
Yeah.
I always say, be careful what you wish for.
Really? We're frozen. Can you hear me?
Figure out how.
Oh no.
Honey?
You know what? You're frozen.
Oh, there we go.
Yeah. Okay, so what were you saying?
So, I always say, be careful what you wish for because you just might get it.
Uh-huh.
Because once you start getting 20, 30 people calling you, it's like, oh my God, how do I take all these calls? I can't even call everybody back. I probably have people watching this that have called me and I've never called them back. And I feel like crap about it because I can't call everybody. It's just kind of a real pain in the ass sometimes. It's like, I really love it. I'm not kidding, but so we've been working to try and get better at that, just because levels of success, they only bring more challenges. I mean, it's just that's the way it is. The same level of thinking that got you to one level is not the same that's going to take you to another. So now we're at these levels of challenges where it's like, I realize that I really suck at organization. I'm really unorganized. So, maybe you've heard this, but I actually just went out and I hired a productivity coach I'm now working with to help me get more organized, to handle things, to have specific times to do things, because I haven't had that. So I know that if I'm going to get to, $30K a month, which is my goal by the end of the year, I've got to do something different. I can't do the same thing. I've got to keep doing, but I've got to, build on that. So anyway.
And that's a very good point, because I think a lot of people don't think about that. And so, oops, oh my gosh, have I not been on my, even plug this in? Oh my gosh, that's so funny. Can you hear me better now? Okay. You know what? Maybe I'll keep this out because I can't hear. I think
I can't hear. There you go.
Well, I can hear you now that I took it out, so I'm going to take these out.
Yeah.
I think a lot of people don't think about that, and one way that they can, one way it's important to prepare for success. And I am definitely, I'm not the most organized person. I could definitely see myself being in the exact same predicament, although I can't wait for that day. I think I'm going to start figuring out some systems now. And I actually want to ask you a few more questions. I'm going to touch on this a little bit later when we talk about duplication, which is actually in just a few more questions. But do you mind telling me again, how many people have you brought into your business since all of this tornado of success has started? And what would you say was the month that things that you guys kind of like lifted off, the plane lifted off, and you guys have, well, it's maybe like not a plane, but maybe a spaceship.
Yeah, it was really, things started to take off about, a month in after really taking focused action. So, I mean, it really comes down to lead flow. I mean, and we talk about that all the time. The more leads you get, the more people you have, to call you, the more, we structured our stuff in a way that we had people calling us. We wanted people calling us. A lot of people get phone numbers with leads, and I do suggest that you do that when you're first starting out.
Right.
But I don't get phone numbers. I want people to call me, because I know I've got the value to offer, and if people want something, all they need to do is call me. Yeah. Yeah. But in the end, it's really a matter of, well, as far as in my business, I brought in almost 500 people to MLSP. Almost 500 people.
Wow.
As far as Frank, I know he's right at 500 as well. We're kind of neck and neck at that. So almost 1,000 people between the two of us. Now, with our primary business, 50 people maybe. We're in a top-tier program. We're not in a traditional network marketing. We're in a top-tier program. So about 50 people into our primary, which is, like I said, a top-tier program, high-ticket program. But,
Well, I think I would honestly, to bring in 50 people into my business, I've been in my business for 8 years. I don't think I brought 50 people thus far. So 50 people in a year is pretty amazing. Right. That's awesome. Okay, so duplication. Let's talk about that again. Yeah. So Although my husband and I have kind of been in internet marketing maybe for a few years, this is my first foray into actually combining it together with my network marketing business.
Sure.
So I'm always impressed with the numbers that people bring in, like 50 people, and that's pretty amazing. To bring in one person, how do you do it? Even though I have a team in other cities too, I'm curious, how do you do it from Chile? And then also, how do you duplicate that with those people?
Right.
How do you duplicate what you're doing with those people?
Well, here's the thing. I'm gonna probably I may tick some people off with this answer. Personally, this is my opinion, but I think duplication is a myth. Okay.
Really?
And this is why I think this. Now, there's going to be people that probably disagree with me. Could be the guys that are making $100,000 a month, and that's okay. They can disagree with me. But the thing is I don't think you can duplicate passion. Mm-hmm. It's got to come from within. And the only way you're going to get success in this industry is if you dig deep down and you grab what it is that's your reason for doing this and really make it so personal to you that it drives you to, insane amounts of action, and it drives you to do something that's like almost superhuman. Mm-hmm. And I don't think you can duplicate that. I really don't. I think you see pockets of people that really, dig deep down and find that, but I don't know. I'm not a big believer in duplication. I'm just not.
Wow.
I look at the numbers, in network marketing as a whole, and like I said, there's going to be people that disagree with me on it, but I think, to really be successful, you got to dig deep, and not everybody's willing to do that.
Right.
And if you're not willing to dig deep and really find out what it is that's going to push you, I don't think you're going to be successful. I just don't.
I've heard, you're right.
Yeah.
It's kind of like you can do, and I've been in this phase of my business too, you can do all the right things and get zilcho results and do all the quote unquote wrong things and become a superstar. And I feel like what you're saying is coming from that spirit, right? Like,
it's all got to do with up here.
Right.
I mean, and I don't know. I've never really been a big believer in duplication because honestly, the numbers just in my mind don't connect,
What do you mean?
And I've always seen the people that are ultra successful in this industry are the ones that are so fired up about life. They're fired up about helping other people. And if you can find a group of people that are the ones that really dig down deep, that's where the real duplication comes from. Because really, this business is only built with leaders. Mm-hmm. I've never seen anybody, very rarely, that wasn't a leader that was making a lot of money. So I'm not sure that you can duplicate leadership. It's just something that's got to come,
Yeah.
So.
Actually, you have something in common. If I understand what you're saying correctly, you have something in common with a big leader actually at Amway. Tom Big Al Schreider actually is a big believer in just, if you're going to do it, you're going to do it, And if you're not, you're not. And he's obviously a very, very big name. I say he's on the varsity team of the big guys in network marketing. So let's keep going with this network marketing conversation. So online versus offline. Personally, I see it as a value, no value type conversation. Like, do you believe in giving lots of value before the leadership, like what you just said, sort of comes to you? Or there's another, there might be more than one camp here, but I feel like the other camp is, do you just want to get your opportunity presentation in front of as many people at whatever cost? Not really being known as a leader. What are your feelings on? I feel like we kind of know, but
Yeah. Providing value is huge. If you think about this for a second, we don't go down to the store and buy bread. We pay, $2, $3, $4 for a loaf of bread. In Chile it's pesos. I pay pesos. Mm-hmm. But we only pay a certain amount for it because it only gives us that amount of value back. I'm not going to pay $100 for a loaf of bread. Why? Because it doesn't carry that much value. You see? Yep. So every time we spend money, we're always looking to get value back. And if I'm not giving any value, how can I expect somebody to pay me that amount back? Mm-hmm. You see? So that always comes down to, so for me, I'm a big believer in value. I'm always, trying to send value to my list. I'm a big personal development guy, so I'm always sharing personal development tips, tricks, things like that. I honestly don't do a ton of marketing training, believe it or not. I don't do a lot on that because the how-tos are all there. I mean, like our course, Tube Traffic Mojo, we put that course together. That's a good how-to. That gets into the nuts and bolts of how-to. We don't really talk a lot about what's really going to make that how-to work, and that's the nuts and bolts up here. So that's why I talk a lot about it, because the how-to almost becomes irrelevant, So, I don't know. That's my take.
Well, you know what? You have a lot in common with like what I call the varsity team, Eric Worre, Randy Gage, Big Al Schreider. A lot of these guys, they don't talk about how-tos a lot. A lot of their stuff, I mean, especially Randy Gage with his Prosperity TV, it's all mindset. And Tony Robbins, I'm obviously a big fan. He says 80% up here, 20% doing. And so, so you're totally, I mean, and we have a lot in common that way. So I think like the online, offline, a lot of people don't realize that all the guys that I just mentioned, they're all online. They're all doing stuff. What do you have to say to people that say, and you probably don't have to grapple with this as much now, but that online doesn't work? And I know we kind of talked about this a little bit at first when we were talking about how I feel that I have a connection with you with video. What do you have to say about online that doesn't work for network marketing? What do you think?
Well, I think there probably is some aspects of it. If you're trying to, if you back it up with the whole duplication argument, I think might be some areas that might be legitimate in that argument. However, for somebody to say that online doesn't work, but you've got big people like Eric Worre and Randy Gage and several other major leaders in the industry that go out there and use online to build an audience. I mean, really, the internet is strictly a tool. I mean, it's only a tool. I mean, and that tool is meant to help connect you with more people to talk to. And that's ultimately what we're looking for here, is just the ability to go out there and connect with more people. Now, here's how I don't think the internet will work. If you don't get out from behind your keyboard and actually connect with people, talk with people, get on Skype like you and me right here, and talk and connect and network, I don't think online's going to work for you unless you're doing just strictly affiliate-based marketing, driving a ton of traffic to an offer. Okay? But if you're looking to build any type of network marketing business using the internet, you have got to get on the phone. It's just, you've got to. There's no getting around it. You'll never build it unless you get out from behind the keyboard and actually talk and connect with people. It's a must. Absolute must.
Right. So, do you think that there's some companies that work better online? Because you said you're with a high-ticket company. Then there's... So which, do you think that there's a difference? That there's, I mean, and I think I remember you saying one time when you started MLSP, you were with one company. Was that Amway? Yeah. And then, I don't want to know the company, the other company, because I know we like to. But,
No, and it wasn't actually. When I got started online, I was with an entirely different company. But the reality of it is, I think it can work for any company. I really do. Again, it all comes down to you're just using the tool to connect with more people about your business. So really, the internet absolutely does work for that, and generating leads works for that. I think for me, my personal opinion is I like high ticket business. I really enjoy that. For me, it's more up my alley. I really enjoy it. For me personally. But it's not others' cup of tea. Other people don't like it. They want to continue to build their networking business. And they can do that. And they can simply do that. Use a system like My Lead System Pro to generate more leads and, do that for your business. So, as far as, the online, offline, I absolutely believe it works. And I think anybody who says that it doesn't is completely ignorant of I can sit here and tell you right now, my business partner, I met him through the internet. He lives in Germany. I live in Chile. Right. I'm sitting here talking with you right now. Where are you?
Denver.
You're in Colorado?
Yeah.
Denver, yeah. You're in Denver. I'm in Chile. How else would we have ever met other than networking through the internet?
Right.
We wouldn't have. So it works. We're living proof of it right here on this interview.
Right.
You see? So it works. guys. The internet works. So anybody that says it doesn't, they don't know what they're talking about.
Right.
I challenge them. I'll do an interview with them. I'll do an interview with a big dog, and I'll debate this point over and over. Mm-hmm. However, yes, there's always certain fundamentals in network marketing that will never go away, and that is people skills, phone skills, working with people and connecting with people. That will never go away. So if you don't want to do that, then definitely this industry is not for you. Mm-hmm. You got to look at something else.
So really quick, high ticket network marketing company. I've actually never heard that term before. Can you just tell us what exactly does that mean?
Yeah, basically what a high ticket program is it's different in the sense that it's more of a high investment buy-in to something. It's more of like buying into a franchise, and you earn a larger commission up front as opposed to building a residual over time. I like personally that business model a little bit better. And this is my personal opinion. MLM is a great business model. It really is. And you've got the potential to build great amounts of wealth. However, it can take you 3 to 5 years if you really work it to build a significant income with it. My personal thing is there's people out there right now that they don't have 3 to 5 years to wait. People need to look at start making money now. Mm-hmm. I'm talking like within the first 60 to 90 days if they really go to work and put the action in. Mm-hmm. And that's why I like the high ticket because, I've seen, people make, $3,000, $4,000, $5,000 within their first, 60 days. Nice. And that's legitimate money that people can take right now and make something happen. Mm-hmm. If they're in a tight situation, they can do it with a high ticket. So that's my opinion, strictly. Interesting.
Okay. Let's go back to Tube Traffic Mojo for a sec. It is incredibly dense. There's so much information. One thing I'm curious about, and the information is very easy to follow. I also will give you that. There's a lot of information, but it's literally like, I have a notebook when I'm listening to the modules, and I can see how you guys must have done it because it's very outlined very specifically, which personally I appreciate. I also have been very curious because there was so much thought into the program. Mm-hmm. How did you, some of these things that you included, how did you know that those things would work? Because some aren't overnight. Some things take time. Right. And how did you decide what to put in the program and what to leave out? Like
Right. Well, I think, we had been studying, a lot of things for a long time. And a lot of it was we were just taking so much action. We were taking massive action, and when you take massive action, you very quickly figure out what doesn't work and what doesn't. What's sends you in one way and what sends you in another. So, we did a ton of testing. Frank and I were working, 15-hour days. 16-hour days in front of the computer. It's not good to sit in front of the computer that long. I'm actually exercising now, getting out and going to the gym and everything. But it was just massive action, and we were able to kind of go through and cherry pick what we knew worked and what was relevant and what wasn't. Mm-hmm. And actually, yes, when we put the course together, we sat on the computer on a Google Doc and we were jotting out all the points together. Mm-hmm. Okay, this is what we need to talk about. This is fundamental. We need to do this. And we literally had an outline, 2 pages long of each point and what we wanted to cover. And as we went, we kind of revised as we felt there were new things that we were learning as we were putting the course together. Most don't realize this, but Frank and I were doing modules, up till 1 hour before we launched.
Whoa.
Wow. we were doing videos right up because some things had changed in YouTube and we needed to make those changes. Uh-huh. So and there's a few minor things we need to go in and change, but for the most part, everything is still extremely relevant in the course. Mm-hmm. But we just massive action. That's how we determined.
So you didn't get off your chair for 15 hours a day. You tried everything you could possibly try, and then you figured out what worked, and then that's what you delivered to us. And then ongoingly for the VIPs, we get to hear what you guys continue to work on. That's awesome.
Yeah, and that's what that was the design of the VIP coaching. Was to be able to do that because things are always changing. We're learning like this. I know in our last webinar that we did, that was something that, I didn't even know. Frank, just came up and shared some of these secrets. I'm like, dude, you didn't share them. What's up, dude? I'm your partner, And it's like, so, these little things that we share, sometimes we learn them, and we're just learning them as we go. And that's why we're sharing with you guys, because it's like, that's how fast internet marketing moves. With information, you just begin to learn so much. You got to stay up on it, and that's the purpose of the coaching program. So
yeah, I was pretty shocked when my video went from page 4 to page 1. I was like so excited. So one thing I was really surprised about is when I was I was listening to your guys' stuff on your interviews, Wiggle Halls, and I actually went to both of your Facebook pages, I went to both of your YouTube channels, and I was like, is this what they're doing? Like, I don't get it. I didn't realize that there's this whole other world that you are doing, and that you're kind of a whole other game that you're playing. And I don't want to give it away, but one thing that really shocked me was how you said you really don't need a lot of videos. You just need videos that really work. And to me, that sounded like really working smarter versus working harder. Because I think a lot of people think, oh my God, I'm going to have to be making videos all the time and, just always doing that. And that's actually not what it is. And that really surprised me a lot.
Yeah. Well, let me put it into perspective here for you. I have not made a video in about a month and a half to rank.
You're kidding. Oh my gosh.
I had 66 leads yesterday and 66 leads the day before. And by the day before that, I had about 50-some leads, and the day before that, I had 63 leads. And so, that's the thing. I have about 25 videos out there, and I really have about 9 or 10 that really bring me a lot of leads, some trickle-in leads here and there. But the reality of it is you don't have to have a lot of videos out there. You just don't. You could literally make 5 or 6 and bring in 25 leads a day. I'm a firm believer of it. I know because I've seen it. And a lot of people think they've got to make video after video after video after video, and it's all about keyword selection. And that's what we go into real depth in the course. I think it's module 2, where we really, Frank is really good at explaining keyword research. He's really good at that. And so that was a big thing that we really delve into and really endeavor to help people understand, because selecting the right keyword is what makes all the difference. And so many people screw it up. And I've seen people that get so pumped, I'm ranking page 1 for this keyword, and it's like, that's great. Go over to Google and check it. It's like, you're getting less than 10 searches a month. That's why you're not getting any leads.
Wow. And
it's
that's
just
why
so
the ranking's
easy
so
to
high.
pinpoint, But it all is all about keyword selection and going after the keywords. Now, there's some keywords I've gone after, and it's like Google is telling me it's getting 16,000 searches. I'm ranking page 1, but I'm not getting anything from it. Wow. So sometimes it's kind of hit or miss, but you go after the ones that you can, and you just you do the best you can. But it really is about keyword selection. It's a big deal.
I have to say too, I was totally, I don't know why, it's so silly. I was so intimidated by this. You have no idea. I must have listened to that module 3 times. Then I finally had my husband. I said, listen, I have to go to Starbucks. I need to be by myself. I took my notebook with me, and I just started taking notes. And it's like the clouds opened up, and I felt, and I came home and I said, I finally feel like I can do this, because I finally got. And it really is just getting out of my comfort zone. I'm so comfortable doing network marketing a certain way, Mark. And you guys give a how-to that is incredibly simple, but definitely a learning curve. And as soon as I got that, I was like, okay, I get the keyword thing. That's it. That's the beginning. And now I feel like now I'm able to research keywords. Keywords come to me. And I have a facility with it, and it really didn't take that long. It just took some concentrated, focused effort for just a few weeks, and then now I feel like I'm on a roll, right? So
and I say this a lot too. It's like, why people think this having a business is any different than if you were to start a brand new job. You go to a brand new job, and typically you're in training for about a month and a half. Really learning the ropes, going through, learning how things work, and let's be honest, it's about 60 to almost 90 days before you get to a point where you're really comfortable. Why people come in here and they think it's different, I don't understand. But a lot of it has to do with they're not getting paid for it either. That learning curve, a lot of times you're not getting paid during that time to learn.
Right.
But that knowledge that you learn, and then as you begin to put it into practice, that's when it could potentially start paying you. So, yeah, it's a little different, but yeah, it's a matter of learning the skills, then implementing. But the keyword research is a huge one. And if I can tell you with video, it comes down to 3 major factors: keyword research, on-page, and off-page optimization. Those are the 3 major factors, and that's what we really cover in the course. Mm-hmm. So.
Yeah, and I like how when I first opened it, I was like, "Oh my gosh, this is so much." And then the more I listen, the more I work on it. I'm like, "Wow, this is a very, very well organized thing." And I can now, even when I share with my husband, I'm like, "These are the things. These are the 3 things." And it's like what you said. It's a skill, and to look at like that, and be a successful adult, and to say, "Okay, now I have to act like my 1-year-old or 2-year-old learning how to do something new." It's kind of hard to do, but when you put it in the context of a skill building. I'm just in the middle of learning this skill right now. I'm right in the middle. And I know I'll get it. I just have to be, So, and then I have to just say, too, the Facebook group is great because everyone's sort of like standing up and falling down, and we're all in it together, and it feels really good. So, Mark, what's next for you? What's next for you and the Bluesman? What are you guys working on? What are your goals? Oh, you want to share your big goal? Did you share that goal with me, your 30,000 a month goal before? Or?
Yeah, that's my main goal right now. Is I'm looking to triple my business, by the end of the year. So we'll see. We're pushing. It's definitely the next goal. Right now, we are looking into a few other marketing strategies as well to implement. So that we can. We're really moving into some paid marketing. Looking at we're testing out some of those things. I'm so partial to video though because I love it so much. I mean, it's so good. Mm-hmm. But, we're just looking to branch out some. We've really mastered what it takes. I mean, to do video. Is very easy for me to rank a video. I don't even look at competition. I don't care. Oh my gosh. It's like if there's a keyword I want, if you're going for it, just trust me. I will keep going until I get it. That's just the attitude. That's the attitude you gotta have. It's like, I don't care what it's going to take. I will get it. I don't care if it takes me a month to get that video on page 1. I will get it there eventually. And it's the same thing with Frank. And he does not stop. Mm-hmm. I've watched him, and that's why we work together so well, because we're just stubborn SOBs in that category. That's awesome. But that's what you need to be. You got to be like that if you want success.
And I love that you guys are a
believer of that.
You're leading this course, and we get to have leaders like that, so that are just unstoppable. So that's very reassuring for me. So, really quick, I really want people to like flood your YouTube channel and your blog and read your blog. So can you share what is the name of your blog and your channel?
Yeah. Well, my blog is simple, markharbert.com. That's where my blog is. I make a lot of videos for that. They're just kind of off the cuff videos a lot of times. But also my YouTube channel, if people want to go there and check it out, it's it's youtube.com/markharbert. That's my main YouTube channel, so people can check me out there.
Awesome. And then Tube Traffic Mojo, you guys can get it. I will have a link down below. Somewhere down below there'll be a link, and I urge you guys, if you have a feeling inside that you think you want to dive into this pool, I'm telling you the water's great. And we're having a lot of fun.
and here's what I would encourage you. If you get the course, get into the VIP coaching. That is definitely a huge one. Huge one.
I had a feeling about this one, and I even said, should we do it? And I'm like, you know what? I just have a feeling. And just literally that last one put me over the edge because I saw how fast, in 24 hours. Yeah. And Mark, I haven't even really backlinked. So I'm crazy now. I'm a crazy woman now because as soon as I do that, I'm like, wow, okay, I get number 1 is like in sight, ranking number 1 if I can get this far without even doing that, Yeah.
So, and there's some keywords, I'm telling you, if you can find some keywords that have traffic, that have zilch for competition, I mean, I've actually ranked videos in like 24 hours. Oh my God. Page 1, So, I mean, there is keywords out there. It's just a matter of going through and searching them and finding them and going after it. So.
Well, it's my new obsession. Thank you so much, Mark, for getting on with me. Thank your wife and your daughter for me too, for letting me steal you away from them. And then to everyone watching, I hope you guys got a lot of value, and I hope that that you got a lot of value and that you enjoyed this information just as much as I did. So until the next webinar, Mark, take care. We'll see you soon.
All right. Thanks.